I love cheese. I have a cheese fetish, so to speak. That same feeling that you get when you spy your school crush across the room. Your heart beats faster, your heart rate goes up, your pulse goes crazy and you get short of breath. That's kind of what I do when I see cheese, so no self-control whatsoever. I'm a bit of a sucker for gooey cheese, so I did really enjoy the first cheese, which was a goat's cheese. I love the difference in texture between the middle, which was quite firm, not too strong, and the outside, which was oozing and melting away. It was almost like the rind was struggling to stay on the cheese, and when you cut into it, it just kind of went. So a couple of highlights yesterday. One was we drove to Barolo village, which was beautiful, but then on the way there we stopped at a little stall that had popped up, and the gentleman there was selling cheese, and we didn't understand a word he said, but he force-fed us, and that was fantastic.
In Valgrana, nelle nostre vallate piemontesi.
That's so good.
Questo è latte.
Bundamat means
Sono tutti i nomi che gli abbiamo dato noi.
So this is translates to crazy good blue cheese.
Digli che sono tutti i nomi che
So the truffle hunting was really interesting, other than the fact that there were lots of puppies. I thought that the way the owner trained the puppies by shoving the truffle in their mouth like it was a tennis ball, and yet these puppies didn't realise they're practically playing with what I would consider black gold. He's quite dependent on these dogs for truffle hunting, because without the dogs, there are no truffles. Now, unfortunately, it's not the right time of year to go hunting for white truffles, but that doesn't matter because all through the year you can get the black truffles, so we're about to go and find some. It was very exciting digging up a truffle, especially because as he was digging, it seemed to take quite a while, and I didn't know where he was going with it. Look at that! I may not be in appropriate truffle hunting gear, but it's okay because the dog does all the work. We had a lovely meal prepared for us, which was just the plain traditional Tyrian with truffle butter and shaved truffles over the top of it, and it was absolutely fantastic. But the best part about it was the sensory experience, because a handkerchief full of truffles from golf ball to tennis ball size was just laid out in the middle of the table, and I've never seen anything quite so luxurious in my whole life. And the smell of the truffles kind of as you were eating truffles, and it was truffle overload, but there's no such thing as too much truffle. So we're in a little restaurant that is quite well known in the area, and everybody who comes here for their tayarin, which is the local specialty. It's pretty much translates to angel hair pasta, so it's very, very thin, and it comes from the dialect word tayer, which means cut. So they fold it up and then they just chop it very, very finely. And I'm about to cut it really poorly, I'd imagine, but I'm learning from an expert, so that's okay. Fingers come off, or my fingers come off. I can't believe how fast he does this.
Slow, eh?
Slow, very slow. So Tyrian is so fresh that it's only made with fresh eggs, just the egg yolks, and just 00 flour. There's no butter, no oil, no water. It's so fresh that apparently you can actually eat it raw if you can get all the stringy bits. Not bad. This morning I had, I think, one of my favourite experiences so far. I was allowed into the kitchen of a local legend called Cesare by, he owns a restaurant of the same name, and it's a tiny little place in his home, and he's a fantastic character. He has these big black frame glasses with red arms, and they match his little red necktie and his red wristwatch as well. Although he kind of moves around like a man of his age, 67, should, somehow he is incredibly speedy at the same time. moving from pot to pan, chopping this, scooping a bit of broth out of something else and putting it into another pan, and just creating absolutely amazing food that uses all the normal ingredients, nothing fancy, but then he creates these amazing, really vibrant, colourful dishes which actually reflect what he does in his spare time. He's also a painter. Interestingly, in his studio, he just has some ladies' bras hanging around, as you do when you're Italian and love women. I think it was a form of inspiration.
The food is what's going to be the most memorable. I have eaten quite a lot of things and I've never tried before, and that doesn't often happen. Last night, especially when we had our last dinner, and it was a beautiful panoramic view. I had to order my last kind of crudo and had some porcini risotto and things that just I don't think I'll ever be able to replicate quite the same way again at home.